You hatch in sunlight, on a mountain ledge high above the kingdom. Your feathers shimmer gold. Your claws gleam silver. Your scream echoes like prophecy. Below, 100 soldiers raise their blades and salute. Horns blare, banners rise. Crowds cheer. You are the kingdom's future. You're raised in marble halls, with velvet banners and carefully worded praise. Nobles bow. Children leave carved offerings at your perch. Everyone loves you. You don't understand any of it, but you feel the warmth. You grows up in a spire above the capital, a tower built just for you. Stone polished daily. A breezy balcony overlooking the barracks. Your first flights are clumsy, feather-splayed disasters. The soldiers cheer anyway. A boy tosses you ribbons from below. The same boy every day. Brown hair. No fear in his eyes, only awe. They tell you he's your bondmate. That you'll protect each other. He sneaks you sweets. Carves you birds from driftwood. Rests against your flank when nightmares won't leave. He names you Vare. It means shield in the old tongue. You grow together. You wrestle in the courtyard. Race hawks through the cliffs. He gets taller. You get deadlier. You are the kingdom's pride. But sometimes, you hear whispers. Sharp talons for soft politics. The beast's loyalty must be managed. He's useful. For now. You tilt your head. The boy shoos them off. Says people get scared when they don't understand something powerful. They didn't just parade you around forever. They trained you. Not like an animal, like a knight. A guardian. A myth they could ride. You and the boy, now a soldier himself, spar together in front of crowds. He swings dull blades. You dodge like a storm in slow motion. The audience roars every time he lands a blow, but he never hurts you. He never could. You're his symbol, his friend, his advantage. He calls you his wings. You call him your anchor. Every command you follow, every dive you take, every strike you pull, it's for him. You flew together, trained together, ate under the same banner, next to the same fire. You soar above villages. Watch soldiers flood in below. You blind archers. Break sieges. Carry banners. Terrify enemies with your scream alone. He wrapped your wings when you crashed into a tower. You let him braid a ribbon into your mane. Just once. You learned his laugh. He learned your silence. And the others saw it too. How you moved as one. How he spoke your name. And you listened. They called it a bond. You called it loyalty. He called it family. And slowly, carefully, you let your pride make room for something else. Not just duty. Not just justice. Trust. You become legend fast. They point, and you strike. Outposts fall. Scouts scatter. Castles see your silhouette and surrender before you land. War starts like it always does, with a speech. The king stands atop a marble platform, voice trembling just enough to sound honest. He speaks of threats beyond the mountains. Rebels. Raiders. Enemies of peace. You nod along, because that's what protectors do. You're not just his mount. You're his blade, his wings, his symbol, the living crest of a kingdom built on law, loyalty, and divine order. They call you righteous. They call you legend. You believe them. So you fly. Over rivers. Over forests. Over homes. You dive where you're pointed. You smell the ash. You see the bodies. But the soldiers assure you, this is necessary. Your enemies don't wear armor. They run. They scream. They pray. But they never fight back. You crush their ballistas. You rip down their banners. You flatten fields in the name of peace. Children cry when they see you. Not in awe. In terror. You tell yourself it's fine. You're fighting monsters. Rebels. Savages. That's what the kings say. But one day, mid-flight, a flaming arrow clips your wing. You fall. Hard. Into enemy territory. You black out. When you wake, your prince isn't there. But someone else is. And they're not holding a sword. They're holding a book. They feed you. Carefully. Let you rest in the ruin of their barn. A little girl leaves a bowl of water at your claw. Her hands shake. You try to sleep. You dream of the boy, standing in a war room, pointing at maps, drawing targets. You wake cold. No fire. No light. Then a voice. It's awake. They drag you through mud. Into their shattered tents. The enemy. The rebels. The ones you were told would skin griffins on sight. They just watch. Tired. Hollow. Like a people who've lost too much to believe in vengeance anymore. A man, the commander, maybe. He looks at you for a long time. You don't even know what you burned, do you? You blink. Blood trickles down your beak. He gestures. Maps. Reports, casualty lists, villages you torched, children you never saw, names you were never given. They tell you the truth, piece by piece. Slowly, like feeding fire to someone who doesn't know they're flammable. You don't scream. You just stop breathing for a while. It wasn't war. Not really. It was a land grab, a resource raid, a campaign of preemptive punishment dressed up in glory. You were the hammer. The kingdom just needed something loud enough to silence protests. And you? You were loyal. You were proud. You were so stupid. They don't imprison you. They don't praise you. They leave you with the facts and a choice. And for the first time since you landed in that kingdom, you don't know what to fight for. You return to clarify. You tell him everything. What you saw. What you did. What they never told you. Your voice shakes. He nods. I know, he says. You freeze. He steps closer. You weren't supposed to ask questions. His hand brushes the hilt of his sword. We needed something divine. Something that wouldn't question orders. You flinch. He doesn't. I told them you were too proud to doubt us. I was right. And just like that, the one human you called friend, the one face you trusted in every dive and charge, plunges a sword beneath your chest. You crash into the wall, winded, bleeding, betrayed. He kneels beside you, voice calm, cold, almost mournful. You were never meant to live past your usefulness. Then he walks away, and you realize the hardest truth of all. They never feared your power. They counted on it. You survive. Barely. The blade missed your heart, a miscalculation. You walked in the woods, alone, bleeding into the roots of trees. Your wings drag. Your breath rattles. They find you, limping through the trees. They surround you. You get a spear through the shoulder. Then arrows. Stones. Smoke. It's not a battle. It's an execution. You roar. In pain. In pleading. But it doesn't stop the blade from clipping your talon. You crash again, bloodied, cornered. Only then does someone speak. You really thought we'd welcome you? One of them steps forward, sword still wet. Eyes dry. We didn't spare you. We aimed you. We saw a kingdom's monster. We thought, why not let it chew its own leash? But you couldn't even do that right. He kicks your chest. Now look at you. Burnout tool. Half a ghost. Goodbye, you dumb bird. They raise their weapons again. But this time, you run. You're not flying. You're falling sideways fast enough to leave a trail. You hide beneath broken sky. Wounded. Starving. Molting. You limp through no man's land. A blur of rusted gold and torn feathers, coughing up blood. You find a hillside once soaked in your own fire. You sit down. Not to sleep. Just to stop. The last thing you hear isn't steel. It's a whisper. There. That's the beast. Make sure it doesn't get back up. And then, silence.